Last winter, a mother in Ohio drove to 3 different stores just to find one pack of chicken. Shelves were stripped bare, prices doubled overnight, and what little meat remained was gray and questionable. She told me, "I never thought this could happen here. But it's happening again. Across America, supply chains are thinning, quality is slipping, and families are paying premium prices for subpar cuts. That's why today, I'm revealing the 8 best and 8 worst grocery stores to buy meat in 2025, before your next meal becomes another disappointment. Number 1. Safeway. When supply chains falter, consistency becomes a form of survival. That's what keeps Safeway on the list of the most reliable grocery stores for quality meat in 2025. Their commitment to USDA choice beef means you re-getting cuts with genuine marbling, meat that stays tender, juicy, and worth every dollar. While others gamble with freshness, Safeway quietly keeps standards high, even under inflation pressure. Their partnership with trusted suppliers ensures traceability, and their organic and grass-fed lines give health-conscious buyers a refuge in a market drowning in additives. What really sets Safeway apart is their in-house butcher counter. You were not left with prepackaged mystery meat. You can talk to real people who know how to cut, trim, and prep to your exact needs. Ask for thicker cuts if you refreezing long-term, or leaner ones if you re-stretching meals in tough times. Regular promotions and loyalty rewards let families stock up without breaking budgets. In an economy where grocery bills keep climbing, Safeway's mix of quality and value feels like a rare win. The difference shows in how their customers talk, not in panic about spoiled beef or mystery origins, but with trust. If you're building a reliable food supply, start here. Buy smart, freeze right, and let consistency become your quiet advantage against uncertainty. Number 2. Publix. If Safeway is steady reliability, Publix is warmth and service wrapped in quality. Known across the Southeast for exceptional customer care, Publix's meat department feels personal, almost old-fashioned, in the best way. You're not pulling anonymous plastic-wrapped cuts off a conveyor shelf. You're met by butchers who still take pride in their craft, offering USDA choice and prime selections with genuine knowledge behind the counter. Their GreenWise line, organic, grass-fed, antibiotic-free, caters to those who value clean, sustainable protein sources. Every piece of meat here carries the assurance of ethical sourcing and consistent quality, 2 things that crumble first when markets shake. Publix's transparency in sourcing and freshness standards builds real trust, something rare when supply chains stretch thin. But it's their customer-first approach that makes Publix stand out during crises. Need a specific cut to stretch a family meal? They'll make it. Want to portion bulk buys for freezing? They'll help with that too. And with frequent sales and strong loyalty rewards, even premium cuts become within reach for careful shoppers. In times when many stores push profit over people, Publix still feels human, like a place that understands both flavor and family. If you want quality meat without the stress of guessing what you're really buying, Publix isn't just a grocery stop. It's a safeguard for your table. Number 3. Kroger is a paradox. A massive national chain that somehow manages to maintain a personal touch when it comes to meat quality. In 2025, when grocery giants are cutting corners, Kroger still offers something valuable: range and reliability. Their shelves carry everything from USDA choice and prime beef to Simple Truth organic and grass-fed options, giving you flexibility whether you're shopping for Sunday dinner or a 3-month freezer plan. What truly makes Kroger shine is its focus on food safety and sourcing integrity. Even at scale, the brand partners with suppliers who follow strict animal welfare and freshness standards. That matters when you're restocking up in uncertain times, because every dollar you spend should buy you food you can trust. Many locations still maintain in-house butchers, and those that don't are transparent about packaging and handling timelines. The result: Fewer unpleasant surprises when you open a sealed pack after thawing. Add in their digital coupons and loyalty programs, and you have a rare combination of affordability and consistency. It's not perfect. Some stores vary in performance, but with the right timing and smart storage, Kroger becomes a prepper's ally. In a world of unpredictable prices, Kroger's mix of access, options, and accountability lets you feed your family without compromise. When meat becomes an investment, Kroger makes sure it still pays dividends in quality, not disappointment. Number 4. Whole Foods Market. If you've ever stood in a grocery aisle comparing prices and wondering whether organic really means anything, Whole Foods Market answers that question with proof. Their meat department is built on strict transparency and integrity, not marketing. Every package, every cut, every label ties back to a traceable source. And in a world where cheap shortcuts dominate, that transparency is survival. Whole Foods carries a wide selection of antibiotic and hormone-free meats, many of them organic and grass-fed, alongside poultry raised under verified humane conditions. Their 5-step animal welfare rating system isn't just a display. It is a commitment that forces accountability from farm to table. When you buy meat here, you know exactly what you're eating and how it was raised. Yes, the prices run higher, but so does the payoff. Better aging means better texture and longer freezer life. Cleaner cuts mean fewer hidden additives that compromise safety during storage. In an economy lurching toward instability, buying higher quality protein now is a strategic move, not indulgence. Whole Foods butchers are more than employees. They're educators. They'll show you how to prepare, freeze, and stretch every purchase. When others sell convenience, Whole Foods sells control, the power to know, choose, and prepare food that won't fail you when systems do. In a crisis, knowledge becomes as valuable as nutrition, and Whole Foods quietly teaches both with their Number 5. Costco. When inflation surges and prices shift overnight, Costco becomes more than a warehouse. It becomes a fortress for the prepared. The beauty of Costco's meat department lies in its scale and consistency. While many stores cut corners to maintain margins, Costco continues to offer USDA prime beef, a grade often reserved for upscale restaurants. You get rich marbling, deep flavor, and reliable tenderness, qualities that matter when every meal must count. The bulk packaging model isn't just about saving money, it's a survival advantage. You can buy large quantities once, portion them into airtight bags, and build a freezer supply that lasts months. In times of crisis, that means fewer trips, less exposure, and a stable protein reserve when others are scavenging for overpriced scraps. Their sourcing practices are transparent, and partnerships with reputable suppliers ensure each shipment meets strict safety and freshness standards. While Costco lacks in-house butchers for custom cuts, their pre-trimmed packs are consistently clean and uniform, perfect for quick freezing or meal prepping. The key is organization. Label each pack by date, rotate older stock forward, and keep a 90-day buffer. Families who prepare this way don't just survive market chaos, they sidestep it. Costco's value is more than savings, it's security. In uncertain times, a full freezer isn't just comfort, it's control. And at Costco, control still comes by the pound. Number 6. H-E-B. Deep in the heart of Texas, H-E-B has quietly built one of the best meat programs in America. While national chains chase volume, H-E-B chases excellence, and it shows. Their Prime 1 beef line rivals steakhouse quality, rich in marbling and flavor, and their selection of organic and pasture-raised meats proves that integrity and accessibility can coexist. But it's not just the cuts, it's the craftsmanship. H-E-B's full-service butcher counters are manned by trained experts who treat meat as a craft, not a commodity. They'll trim, portion, or even marinate cuts for you, ensuring what goes into your freezer is as close to perfect as it gets. For those who prep or stockpile, that expertise is gold. You get optimal portion sizes, cleaner seals, and better freezing performance. What makes HEB exceptional in a volatile economy is how it balances premium quality with fair pricing. Weekly deals let you stock up on ribeyes or roasts without overspending, while vacuum-sealed packaging extends shelf life and preserves taste. And for the busy or cautious, their meal bundles, high-quality meats paired with sides, stretch every dollar into a full meal, ideal when cooking energy or time runs low. In a world obsessed with shortcuts, HEB stands for doing it right. For Texans and anyone lucky enough to live near one, it's not just a grocery, it's a lifeline of taste, trust, and preparedness. Number 7. Sprouts. Farmers Market. Sprouts. Farmers Market isn't just another grocery chain. It's a quiet revolution in how meat should be sourced, handled, and trusted. At a time when global supply chains wobble and processed shortcuts flood the market, Sprouts stands firm with clean, transparent, and ethically raised meat. Their commitment to antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and 100% natural cuts isn't a sales pitch. It's a promise rooted in sustainability and health. The store's grass-fed beef, organic chicken, and wild-caught seafood give shoppers the power to buy with confidence, knowing what they're feeding their families actually nourishes them. But Sprouts goes beyond the label. Their butchers act like mentors, offering cooking guidance, helping you select proper portions for freezing, and explaining which cuts stretch farthest when budgets tighten. That knowledge alone can save hundreds over time. What truly makes Sprouts a prepping ally is accessibility. Despite its premium sourcing, prices remain within reach thanks to frequent promotions and seasonal discounts. You can stock up on clean proteins without feeling like you're shopping luxury. Their pre-marinated and pre-seasoned meats also help those balancing survival prep with limited time, turning stockpiling into a practical, everyday habit. Sprouts thrives because it earns your trust through transparency, not tactics. When the shelves of bigger stores start to look uncertain, Sprouts quietly delivers the rarest commodity of all: peace of mind wrapped in paper, sealed in integrity. Number 8. Wegmans. Wegmans doesn't just sell meat, it curates an experience of trust, craft, and quality. Step inside, and you will understand why it's consistently ranked the #1 grocery store for meat in America. Every detail reflects precision, from the gleaming butcher counters to the rich aroma of dry-aged beef waiting to be cut to order. Their selection rivals top-end butcher shops, USDA prime beef, organic chicken, heritage pork, and sustainably sourced seafood, each chosen with care and transparency. Wegmans butchers aren't just workers, they're culinary consultants who help you pick the perfect cut, teach you storage techniques, and even share tips for long-term freezing. That kind of personal guidance is invaluable when your goal isn't just a great dinner. It is a secure food supply in uncertain times. What makes Wegmans exceptional is its sourcing integrity. They prioritize local farms and strict animal welfare standards, ensuring every steak or roast carries both quality and conscience. Their vacuum-sealed packaging preserves flavor and extends shelf life, making it ideal for preppers who want long-lasting protein without compromise. Yes, prices are slightly higher, but when you open a perfectly preserved ribeye months later and taste freshness, you realize that quality pays back tenfold. Wegmans represents the top tier of meat preparedness: ethical, enduring, and exceptional. In a collapsing food economy, they don't just sell meat, they sell certainty, one cut at a time. Number 9. Meijer might look like a prepper's paradise at first glance. Wide aisles, endless options, and competitive prices. But dig a little deeper, and cracks begin to show. When it comes to meat, Meijer's biggest flaw isn't cost, it's consistency. One week you'll find tender, well-cut sirloins. The next, packages marred by excess fat, gristle, and questionable freshness. For anyone building a freezer reserve or planning long-term storage, that unpredictability can be disastrous. The problem starts with off-site processing. Meijer lacks in-house butchers, meaning all cuts arrive pre-packaged and pre-trimmed, often after long transport times. That delay exposes meat to fluctuating temperatures and potential spoilage, even before it reaches your cart. Add in reports of uneven coloration and short shelf life, and suddenly that great deal feels like a gamble. In a stable economy, you might risk it. But during a period of inflation, shortages, or supply chain breakdowns, unreliable protein becomes a liability. Transparency is another weak spot. Few details are given about sourcing or animal welfare standards, leaving customers guessing about what's really in the package. Meijer's convenience can be appealing, but convenience without quality is a false comfort. When times get tough, you need confidence in your food, not surprises. If you're serious about stocking meat that lasts, Meijer belongs on your watch list, not your prep list. Number 10. ShopRite. ShopRite has long been the Northeast's go-to for affordability, but in 2025, that affordability comes at a cost, and it's one you can smell before you even cook. Customers across the region have reported spoiled or discolored meat, sitting on shelves well before expiration dates. For anyone trying to build a long-term supply, that's not just waste, it's risk. The store's biggest issue isn't selection but storage and oversight. Without dedicated butchers, every package comes pre-processed and pre-packaged, leaving no room for custom cuts or quality checks. It's a system designed for speed, not reliability. And when the economy tightens and margins shrink, those shortcuts multiply. What you save at checkout can cost you in spoiled meals and wasted money later. Transparency is another sore point. ShopRite provides minimal sourcing information, which means you have no way of knowing whether your meat came from a reputable farm or a rushed supplier. In a world where trust in food systems is eroding, that opacity should raise alarms. Even loyal customers admit the difference. Meat that once looked fresh now appears dull, the texture less firm, the taste off. For short-term shoppers, that's frustration. For preppers, it's failure. You can't afford to fill your freezer with uncertainty. ShopRite proves one painful truth. In crisis conditions, cheap food becomes expensive fast. When quality control slips, your safety and your stockpile pays the price. Number 11. Little came to the U.S., promising European efficiency and unbeatable prices. But when it comes to meat, those savings come with a warning label. In 2025, customers across multiple states report spoiled or near-expired meat, still sitting on shelves, wrapped in deceptive freshness seals. It's a symptom of one thing: weak quality control. For everyday shoppers, it's disappointing. For anyone prepping for a crisis, it's dangerous. Lidl's model prioritizes volume over oversight. With no in-house butchers and everything pre-packaged off-site, the chain sacrifices flexibility and freshness for speed. If you want a custom cut, a freshness check, or even advice on freezing portions, you're out of luck. And while Lidl has made attempts to include organic or grass-fed options, the variety remains minimal and inconsistent between stores. Transparency is another blind spot. Sourcing information is often missing, vague or buried behind generic branding. In a world where food origins matter more than ever, that lack of clarity should concern anyone who values safety over convenience. Yes, Lidl's prices undercut competitors. But ask yourself, what are you really buying? A small savings up front or a long-term risk in your freezer? When every dollar matters, low cost without reliability isn't value. It's vulnerability. For preppers, Lidl's meat section isn't a bargain aisle. It's a warning sign of what happens when standards fall faster than prices. Number 12. Kroger. Worst list. It may seem strange to see Kroger appear again, but that's the reality of 2025. A chain divided between excellence and erosion. While some Kroger locations uphold stellar standards, others have become examples of how scale can undermine consistency. Reports of meat spoiling before expiration, odd chemical odors, and lackluster packaging have shaken customer confidence in regions where oversight is weakest. The issue isn't Kroger's product line, it's the management of it. Without consistent refrigeration monitoring and employee training, even high-quality meat can falter in transit or on display. Customers buying in bulk for storage have opened ground beef that looked fine outside, but soured within hours. When you're stocking for security, that's a betrayal you can't afford. Even Kroger's organic and grass-fed options haven't escaped criticism. While they exist, they're often stocked beside lower-quality cuts, blurring freshness standards, and creating cross-contamination risks. Add to that the absence of in-store butchers in many newer locations, and customers are left with prepackaged uncertainty. Kroger remains a corporate giant, but giants move slowly, and when supply chains strain, that slowness can turn deadly for perishables. For those preparing against inflation or disruption, reliability isn't optional. It's everything. So when you walk into Kroger, don't assume its name equals quality. Inspect, question, and trust your senses. Because in 2025, even familiar brands can fail when vigilance fades. Number 13. Stop and Shop. There was a time when Stop and Shop stood for community trust and neighborhood reliability. But in 2025, that legacy has faded under fluorescent lights and vacuum-sealed disappointment. Once known for its friendly butchers and fresh cuts, the chain's decision to outsource all meat processing has gutted the very thing that made it dependable: control. What used to be butchered and inspected in-store is now packaged off-site, shipped across states, and stocked with an artificial glow that hides deeper issues. Customers have noticed. Reports of discolored meat, off odors, and premature spoilage are now common, with preservatives masking decay just long enough to make it past the register. For preppers or families planning long-term storage, that's a risk no one can afford. A single spoiled batch means wasted money, wasted freezer space, and shattered trust. The decline in quality has been so pronounced that some Stop and Shop stores have seen a drop in sales and local closures, signaling more than just supply chain strain. It's brand erosion in real time. Without in-store butchers, customers lose personalization, advice, and accountability. It's a faceless experience built for speed, not safety. In uncertain times, when every dollar and calorie matters, Stop and Shop serves as a cautionary tale. When corporations chase efficiency, freshness dies first. And once a store loses the confidence of its community, no discount can. Number 14. Food Lion. Food Lion built its empire on convenience and affordability, but in 2025, those same traits have become its downfall. For years, the chain has faced mounting complaints about spoiled or off-smelling meats, often discovered days before the printed expiration date. For a family trying to stretch every dollar or a prepper building reserves, this isn't just frustrating, it's financially and physically unsafe. Without in-house butchers, Food Lion's meat comes entirely prepackaged, processed off-site, and often sits in transit longer than its freshness window allows. Once it hits the shelf, the illusion of value collapses fast. Some customers report excessive liquid preservatives inside packages, giving cuts a strange chemical aftertaste and texture. Then there's the transparency problem, or lack of it. Labels rarely clarify sourcing or animal welfare practices, and the chain's corporate statements remain vague. In an age where consumers demand to know where their food comes from, this opacity isn't just outdated. It's reckless. Sure, prices stay low, but the math doesn't work when half your purchase spoils in a week. When trust in supply chains falters, stores like Food Lion expose the cracks. It is a reminder that the cheapest option in an unstable market often hides the highest long-term cost. Lost money, lost safety, and lost faith in what we feed our families. In crisis conditions, cheap isn't strategy. It's surrender. Food Lion proves why some deals are too dangerous to take. Number 15. Save a Lot. Save a Lot was built for the budget-conscious shopper, but in 2025 it's become a lesson in how cost-cutting can cross the line from frugality to failure. What was once a reliable discount chain now faces widespread reports of spoiled meat, broken seals, and mislabeled expiration dates. For those trying to stock up for emergencies or feed a family on a tight budget, this isn't savings, it's sabotage. The problems begin at the foundation: inconsistent refrigeration and lax quality control. With no in-house butchers and most products processed far from the store, the meat often arrives at its limits, surviving more on preservatives than freshness. It is not uncommon for customers to open sealed packages and find a sour smell or discoloration beneath the surface gloss. In survival scenarios where every calorie counts, that kind of unreliability can destroy your food plan and your confidence. Transparency is nearly non-existent. There's little information on sourcing, no clarity on supplier standards, and zero reassurance about animal welfare. Combine that with a limited selection, mostly low-grade beef, pork, and chicken, and it's clear that the low prices come at a steep hidden cost. Save a Lot reminds us that during economic collapse, cheap food can be the most expensive mistake. In times like these, value isn't what you pay, it's what you can trust to last. And trust, sadly, is something Save a Lot no longer sells. Number 16. Amazon Fresh. Amazon Fresh promised the future of grocery shopping: fast, efficient, delivered to your door. But in 2025, it's also become the worst place to buy meat in America. For a company built on logistics, the failure is almost poetic. Customers across the nation report discolored, sour-smelling meat arriving within a day of purchase, sometimes already spoiled before it hits the doorstep. The core problem is the supply chain itself. Amazon sources from multiple regional suppliers, and that variability translates into inconsistent quality, storage, and safety standards. A ribeye in Seattle might come from an entirely different source than one in Florida, and both can differ in freshness by days. In an age where consumers crave reliability, this randomness feels chaotic. Compounding the issue is transit time. Even with insulated packaging, every additional hour in a delivery truck shortens the meat's usable life. For preppers or families relying on bulk orders, that means higher risk and wasted money. Add in multiple recalls due to contamination, and Amazon Fresh's reputation has turned from innovation to cautionary tale. Yes, the convenience is seductive. Yes, the idea of skipping the store sounds smart. But when your family's health and preparedness are on the line, convenience without trust is a trap. In survival terms, Amazon Fresh's meat isn't just unreliable, it's unsafe. Sometimes, the easiest option is the most dangerous one of all. The grocery landscape of 2025 reveals a painful truth. Not all meat is created equal, and not all stores deserve your trust. In a collapsing economy, where inflation bites harder each month, every purchase is a decision between security and regret. The stores at the top of this list offer consistency, transparency, and integrity. The others, excuses.